My 35F boyfriend, 35M, confronted his ex-girlfriend, 25F, at the grocery store. My boyfriend Anthony and I were going to get Starbucks a few days ago. While we were driving, Anthony was certain he spotted his ex Cleo going into a grocery store. Cleo and Anthony had dated for 2 years and their breakup was nasty. Anthony told me she owed him rent money and money for the vacations he brought her on. Anthony said he was going to get his money back and we went inside of the grocery store. Anthony confronted Cleo and she denied owing him any money. Cleo said she never signed a lease when they were living together and vacations are considered gifts. Before she left, she told Anthony, "Also stop calling and begging me back, it's getting annoying." When she left, Anthony denied doing that, but I got very insecure. I looked through his phone and he caught me and we argued. I'm raging with jealousy and I don't know what to do. Too long did not read. Boyfriend confronted ex at the grocery store. The fact he even thought following her into a grocery store would somehow result in money in hand. This is some batshit shit at any age, but at 35 if deaf isn't a good look. Yeesh. This sounds like a case I would hear on Judge Judy. If Anthony thinks he has a case with back rent, then he should go to small claims court. You ever stop to think she gave you a subtle warning with her random comment? To stop you being the next her. But no, you are raging with jealousy about something you cannot prove as you were not around back then. You sound as toxic as the clown harassing his ex. Lady, if she owed him money he would have gone through small claims court. He just wanted to harass her and she was having none of it. He sounds immature as fuck. What is he doing for you in this relationship that justifies how you're feeling now? Vacations he brought her on really sounds like something he willingly paid for. He said goodbye to that money and there's no reason for getting it back. The rent money would be a nice gesture if she gave it back, but if it wasn't discussed beforehand she is under no obligation to give it to him. We don't know the details to determine who is right, but from what was written it looks like your guy might be in the wrong. But I don't know the circumstances. Sorry girl, you gotta go. I just hope you're not invested, but if he's 35 and still unable to communicate healthily, move on. They say once a cheater always a cheater. Some people are forever children. Leave his ass and anyone that can't talk to you like an adult. Oh, your BF's ex just took a huge dead and rotting cat and threw it straight into the middle of your relationship. She did it on purpose, she did it knowing the reaction it would provoke, and in one foul swoop reminded her ex why their relationship was so toxic. Your reaction to this one throwaway line has had its desired effect, and if she knew she would be cackling to herself for days. You just got played op. On one hand, that money is gone. He's never going to get it back. On the other hand, I don't believe for a second that your boyfriend would be both trying to collect back rent and get back in her pants. That was a cheap shot for the crowd. Honestly, the fact that he dated a 25-year-old is enough of a red flag for me to go. I just don't need that kind of drama, instability if I were you. You can argue about whether Cleo did actually owe him money, etc. But even in the way you tell it, it absolutely reads to me like Cleo got out for whatever reason, so he's now doing that toxic thing about remembering all sorts of silly things she owes him, so that he can keep the connection. All of it is bad. And he's too old for nonsense like this too. I'd be throwing the whole man away. EW. If you ask for money, gifts back after breaking up, you're a special kind of gross. Why take someone on vacation only to ask for money later on? That's so skeevy. Vacations, unless specifically stated otherwise, are a gift. You don't invite someone on a vacation and then expect him to pay. A 35-year-old that doesn't know how to use small claims court, but instead rushes into a grocery store to get his money back, is not a smart, stable individual. He definitely had been contacting her. I mean, the ex is making some fair points. If the money is not a considerable amount, I don't think it's fair to bring it up. Even if it's a large sum to your boyfriend, I still don't know what should have been done in this situation, but that's not stuff you should be worrying about. What you need to focusing on is that he did in fact try to reignite his relationship with his ex, and that should be the point where you should walk out of this relationship. You might be wondering whether or not you can grow past this, but somewhere down the line, a similar situation might arise, with you being blindsided the entire time. Girl. A 35-year-old man followed a 25-year-old woman into a store and harassed her, and from what it sounds like, has been calling her and harassing her. Either for money or to get back with her. It doesn't matter, because his behavior is gross and disrespectful. Dude, get away from this guy. Don't be jealous, be angry and insulted. Your boyfriend is an abusive bully. He showed you who he is. Stop being jealous and start being concerned and wondering why TF would you even want to be with such a person. Okay, so you're driving, he stops the car to follow his ex, a decade younger than him, into a store. At which point he demands money for vacations he brought her on, among other things. If this is true, he's cheap and petty. And if it isn't, he's got a boner for harassment. I don't know how to tell you this, but this man isn't the catch you may have believed he was. It's like TripAdvisor comments, ex-partner's comments related to a current partner are correct most of the time. Also, taking someone on vacation is considered a gift most of the time. It is so trashy to demand the money back. He took her on vacation because he wanted to have the experience of it with her back in the day. He followed her into the store to demand money for vacations he took her on as a couple. He is using this owed money as a way to keep in contact with her. I believe he is begging for her back. I'm sure he would wipe the slate clean if she got back with him. Look at the way he is behaving with his ex. Do you want to be subject to that type of behavior? Who has the mental cojones to that? He's emotionally immature, entitled, and sounds like he's not worth it. Did he really think she was going to give him back the bread for the vacations? This dude sounds like a moron. Asking for money he paid for vacations together after breaking up sounds like a sad attempt to get some cash. If she didn't sign a lease, he isn't getting any money from her. Put something on paper. If you don't have that, move on. Sounds like your boyfriend has issues moving on from his ex though. Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Clever. I think the girl may have just said that to do exactly what it did. Drive a wedge and make you jealous. That said, why the hell would he think following her into a grocery store and confronting her WHIME or with him is a good idea? Sound like a bad idea factory, frankly. I'd start putting some distance before you waste more time with him. So many stupid comments in here about ages and sexual favors, and nobody considering sometimes couples split expensive shit if neither of them makes a ton of money. Not the way I do it. But not unheard of. Because he made ex feel uncomfortable when confronting her in public, she tried to cause a rift between you and boyfriend by blurting that out. And sounds like it worked. Comments in this sub are so quick to judge with so little information to base it on. Sorry to anyone looking for genuine advice and hearing such extremes as, honey, run. If he did mention as the ex say that he begged her to be back, he would not make a fuss in front of you to ask the ex for money. Have you ever thought maybe the ex purposely said that in front of you to make you angry if she hoping that you will break up with him because she have nothing to lose, she just want to get some pleasure giving him trouble because he publicly ask her for money in an open area where other can see and she feel humiliated. Think about it. The stop calling me and begging for me to come back thing is definitely some shit she made up to hurt him. This literally sounds like someone that I've dated laughing my ass off, please leave. Dude is crazy and it only goes downhill from here. I would be raging with rage. Not jealousy. In 4 years, when you are pushing 40 and single and he's calling you asking you to get back together while dating someone else, getting mad and confronting you in public to pay him back for all the birthday gifts he bought you, you are going to feel stupid for not leaving now. Your man is pushing 40 and acting like a teenager, dump him. It has nothing to do with the money. It's just a way for him to keep in contact with her. This is not normal behavior. If she owes him money and he has proof of it, he can go through legal channels rather than following her in public and calling her on the phone repeatedly. Also, a 10-year age difference when he seems to be that emotionally immature is a bit of a red flag for me. This seems like a lot of red flags, girl. If he does that to his ex, what will he do to you in the long run? I think you're focusing on the wrong emotion here and ignoring some big red flags. The 10-year age difference between him, the pulling over because he saw her go into a grocery store, while with you, taking you with him to confront her, asking for money back for vacations he took her on, and the fact that he caused a scene in a public place while acting like the muscle for a bookie are all way more concerning than what she said. Yeah, drama and shit. Why go into a grocery store to communicate privately about finances and or loss of property with any individual that you may know? Tony, Captain Flag of Red, must have known, should have known, that any attempt to recoup loss in an impromptu public run-in would not happen but would cause a scene. He is dangerous. He is messy. He is not honest. He is drama and shit. I would be more than jealous. I would be getting an STD, STI test done more frequent if that dude would be fucking me. He ain't nothing but trouble. I think you should be giving Antony the boot. He sounds flippant, quick to temper and doesn't think of the long term. That alone should tell you what he's like. My ex owes me money. You know what I'd do if I saw him in a grocery store? Walk very quickly in the opposite direction. I consider that money a fair price to never ever have to speak with him again. I'd leave while I could. He's unstable. Even if someone genuinely owed you money, accosting them like a crazy person is a huge red flag. Perhaps he is trying to get back with her. Perhaps she just said it in the moment to fuck with him in revenge. I don't know, and I don't think it matters. He can't control his anger, retroactively wants payment for gifts, and dated a girl 10 years younger than him. Getting out sooner would be smart. Your guy seems crappy. He doesn't sound like a prize. If he wanted to date someone so young, he should pay the bills. You're dating a creep. I'm no psychic, but there is definitely a protection order being served on him in the near future. It's incredibly inappropriate for this man to chase her into a store and aggressively confront her. If he took her on vacation, it's a gift unless he can prove otherwise. And, if she had an agreement for rent, he could pursue her legally. If he is indeed calling her and harassing her like this in public, she can file a complaint of criminal harassment. How soon did you guys begin dating after they broke up? Are you joking? You saw this 35-year-old man hunt down his ex in a supermarket, harass her, and you thought, yes, I like this. You should be repulsed. How long have they been broken up? He sounds like someone I would not continue to date. Also, keep track of every dime he spends on you, cause he's going to want it back when you break up. And money for the vacations he brought her on, what? He was like 30-33, and she was like 20-23. 10 years younger. Sounds like he spoiled her in exchange of sex basically, and he thinks she owes him vacation money. This alone bigger red flag than the flag of China. Not to mention the stop calling and begging me and the whole car ride pursuit thingy he just pulled off. And #X200B. 30M here. You are raging with jealousy. Well, I think that's the wrong emotion you should have. Do you want to be the next Cleo? I don't know what kind of agreement they had with rent, but if he took her on vacation, that sounds like a gift. How old was Cleo when they were dating?